obviously we just had a very heartbreaking but also very gratifying visit here in Minneapolis with the parents, the principal, the pastor of the children who died in this terrible school shooting about a week ago. It was obviously a very sad moment, but also in a lot of ways a very rewarding moment that these parents opened up their lives, opened up their hearts. They told me about their kids, they told me about their families, they told me about the community supporting them. And that was just an amazing thing to see, an amazing thing to witness, an amazing thing to get to be a part of. There are a few things that I take away from this. The first is, as the parents themselves told me, why do we talk so much about the brutal maniac who shot up this school and not enough about the innocent children who lost their lives and were full of life and were people with hopes and dreams in their own right? I wish that we talked a lot more about Harper, who was a beautiful young girl. She had a beautiful smile, the kind of smile that would turn a bad day into a good one, and was very proud of the fact that she just had her first communion a couple of years ago. She was one of the children who lost her life. I also wish we talked a little bit more about Fletcher. Fletcher was a very rambunctious and energetic kid, was a beautiful kid, had an incredible head of hair, and his parents actually, his dad for the first time, revisited the chapel with me where his son lost his life, and that was the first time that he'd been in the chapel since his son was taken from him. We should talk more about these kids. We should talk less about this shooter. We should talk less about the crazy person who took these children from us. We should talk about these kids, their hopes and their dreams, and the fact that they had a full life ahead of them that was cut short. But I want to make just a few more comments, and then I'll take a couple of questions. So number one, you know, I've had a lot of good days and a lot of interesting days, and a lot of things have happened to me since I've become the Vice President of the United States. I have never had a day that will stay with me like this day did, because I really felt like these parents, in the midst of the worst grief of their entire lives, they opened up their lives and they opened up their hearts and they made me part of it. So I'd ask a couple of things, straight from the parents and straight from the families to my fellow Americans. First of all, while 2 kids lost their lives, there's still 1 kid that's in very serious condition, and every single family, the family of Lydia, who luckily recovered, but we visited her in the hospital, the family of the 2 who died, Harper and Fletcher, all 3 of those families said, please say a prayer. So to my fellow Americans, if you're the praying type, say a prayer for this innocent girl who's actually in surgery right now, that the swelling will go down, that she will be okay, because she's still in a fight for her life, and every single family to a person is desperate that the death toll, which currently is at 2, stays at 2. And I think if you're a praying type, you ought to say a prayer for this innocent young girl. The second thing that I'd say is, look, I'm speaking to my fellow Americans who are parents in particular. There is nothing that you can say that can take away the grief that these parents are dealing with. There is no word that can possibly describe the feeling or the emotion or the heartbreak. One of the ways that I'm going to try to honor these parents and the children that they lost is by being a better dad and hugging my kids tight tonight and making sure that they know that their dad loves them. Because there are 2 families who are not going to get that opportunity ever again. And if you do have kids, if you're lucky enough to have a son or a daughter, make sure that they know that they love you. Make sure that you hug your kids tight, because there are families in Minneapolis who won't be able to do that ever again. So with that,